because we've been doing questions on LeetCode, and I just don't feel like giving too much credit to LeetCode because, they are profiting from a bunch of students, and they've been raising prices. When I had the LeetCode membership back in college, the membership fee for a year was only $99 per year, and now they have raised it to $150, now $160, and that's up 80%. So I just don't think it's ethical for them to raise the price that much, since a majority of their customers are students. So I'm just trying to explore other coding platforms, and so far HackerRank seems pretty good, and their UI, their user interface, is very similar to LeetCode's old user interface. If you watched my previous 3 videos, you might have heard that I've been complaining about their new UI, where they put the coding section and the question in parallel to each other. But I like this orientation better, a little bit better. Alright, so let's try HackerRank and see how it is. This is a easy question, so they mark it easy. So let's see how it is. Alright, without further ado, let's start countdown. Okay. So left rotation, let's see what do we have for left rotation. So a left rotation operation on array of size n shifts each of the array elements 1 unit to the left. Now given the integer d, rotate the array that many steps excuse me. Rotate the array that many steps left and return the results. So let's look at the example. D2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in array, and after 2 rotations we have, so 3 it's shifted to 1, 2, and 1 it's 1, 2 at index 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so it's not so much rotation, it's more like shifting. So I don't know why they call it rotation. I would call it array shifting. So function is complete the rotate left function in the editor below. D is the amount to rotate by, and array is the array to rotate. Returns the rotated array. Input format. The first line contains 2 space-separated integers that denote on the n the number of integers, and d the number of left rotations to perform. So the second line contains n space separated integers that describe the array. So constraint, we have number of integers between 1 to 10 to the power 5. So this is not so much of a restriction, not too much of a strict constraint. And D1 to N, okay, fine. So these are fine, alright, these are not too strict. Sample input 5, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 5 number and 4 shift to 4, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 should be at the second or the first index, okay? Okay, so and 5 and 4. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 will be in the first position. Okay, so let's look at the code. Complete the rotate left function below. The function is expected to return an array. So the function accepts following parameters: integer d and the array. So it indicates how many digits, how many units we're shifting to the left, and what array are we going to shift at. So let's look at the other. So standard out process info. So this is we don't need to care about this. File handle So this is just miscellaneous stuff. Read line, we don't need to care about this. Input got in first multiple inputs. Okay. Split separator, so it's splitting the input. Read line, splitting the separator, and then okay. So we don't need to care about these. So we don't need to care about this. What we need to pay attention to is the rotate left function or method. I don't know how you call it in Swift. So we spent 40 minutes reading the question. I don't know why in HackerRank they give you this kind of information, which is not very necessary because on LeetCode it's more concise, but it doesn't matter. It's not a big deal. Okay, first, the first question is that the first question is this: can we do this operation in place, which means within this array? Well, first of all, it's kind of hard to do because they are not giving this in-out keyword where I can have in-place operation to this array. So this is definitely, we need to create a copy. But technically, it would be really hard to do in-place operation for this array, because we're basically shifting array to the left. And if we want to do this in place, then we have to save. So first, we're moving the first place to the second place, but then we have to save the second place to somewhere before we shift the elements to the target position. So let's not do it in place. If you catch my drift, hopefully I have to explain this well, but we only have 15 minutes. So so my first thought is that maybe we cannot do it in place, but let's just do the simpler approach. So we can copy array. So in Swift, it is interesting that it's different from Java. If you come from a Java background, in Swift, if you want to copy an array, you just need to do copy. Oh, we call it result. It's equal to array. So, and there you go, done. This is, you create a deep copy of this, and whatever you do to this array won't affect this. So this is an interesting thing in Swift, which is very different from Java. Anyways, so we have created a copy of this array, and so now we need to work on the algorithm to shift the element. So basically, let's say the index is x, right? And if we want to shift to the left, right? So we need to minus whatever digits, whatever units we want to shift left, right? But if I mean, there would be the case where, if we want to shift this to the left, like say shift 4, right? And just in this case, for 2 to shift 4, it will shift to the negative part. So in order to do that, before we shift this, we'll add the length of the array to the index. So x plus the length, the array length, and then what we do is that, add, and then is that we will also to the minus, then we have enough base to subtract the to be shifted length, right? So we'll minus d, and then after this, now what we need to do is we need to module it, right? Because there might be a case where after we subtract this, the current this number is going to be bigger than the length of the array. So we need to module it with. So in this case, we'll need to module it with 4, right? Because 4, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So if the shifted index is 4, then we module 4, it will become 0. So we should module it with the length, right? The length of the... Someone's calling me. Hold on. I got a phone call. I'm back. Okay, it was a phone call. Anyways, let's get back to this. Resume. We have 6 minutes left. Okay, let's module it with the length array length, because if the calculated index is say 5, there's no 5, then it will become 1, right? Well, 5 it will become 0, so it'll be here. Okay, all right. Okay, so let's do 4. We have to go through the array for index in 0 to array dot count. Oh, one good thing about HackerRank is that they also give you the prompts. So, and then we need to calculate the index, right? So new index, okay, it's equal to the current index plus array length, which is count, and minus d, which is d, and we'll module array counts. Okay, and then the new array result new index will be array index, and after this we can return results. Okay, so I'm a little bit running out of time here. They wrote the question too long, so let me try and run the code here. I think they have a test file for this part. Demo test for your input. Okay, so my input is correct. Now let's try to submit it and see if this will pass. Please, I don't want to see this result. Please pass. Yes. Okay. Right. Good. Okay, so it was a simple question. Let me stop this. So it was a simple question. I think the takeaway from this question is that how you shift elements. This is the algorithm for basically the equation for shifting arrays in shifting elements in an array. And another thing is here, and this is how Swift copies an array. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next challenge.